Ding ding. Welcome. You're right on time for Delulu Hour. As the name entails, Delulu Hour is the podcast where I yap for however long about life, K-pop, culture, whatever, anime, of course, yeah. All with a hint of spice and a crap ton of delusion. My name is Kevin, and I'm the main host of the show. I will be straight to the point with you all. This is gonna be a real quick episode, okay? Because I don't want to talk about this topic for any more longer than I already have on this channel. And also, it's getting late. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. So this is going to be a real quick one, okay? And plus, who wants to listen to me yap about K-pop for like however long? Okay, there we go. So, starting off, oh my god, happy August. We're already on the 5th episode for the show. Like, literally, where did the time go? Like, I know I'm posting like every other week instead of like every week that I first proposed, but either way, like, the time is going by so fast. During the time that I was gone, I've been playing like a lot of board game stuff. I've been playing Wingspan, Stardew board game, Exploding Kittens, Throwing Burritos, and like they're all so fun. Even before, like, I was trying out like Catan and stuff like that, but yeah, board games are great. My friends are always asking me to get like the board game simulator on Steam so we can play more board games, so I've been hoping to do that. Slay! Maybe I should like do like a stream of it one day, like stream the game or like stream the board game cafe thing. Like, let me know if you guys want to see that, or like maybe I'll stream and like take clips from it, so that'll be even more fun and like easier for you guys to watch, right? So yay! So yes, that's what I've been up to recently. Sorry, I didn't even like intro anything, but yes, that's what I've been up to. But yeah, no more wasting time. Let's get right into the meat of this topic. So, as the title entails, or whatever I title it, LESSERAFIM's documentary came out. Their documentary called "Make It Look Easy" came out. I'm assuming in preparations for their next comeback, which, spoiler alert, they started making the teasers come out, yeah. But I'll get into that after. So their documentary, Make It Look Easy, is pretty much about their time from like, I think the Anti-Fragile or Unforgiven era up until the Easy era. And there was like, I think 5 episodes. And at first I was like, I don't think I'm gonna watch it. Like, for me, like, I was a LESSERAFIM stan, but it was just like a phase thing, right? They didn't do anything in particular that like made me grow negative of them. It's just like I'm a G Idol girly for life, and like their recent comebacks and their recent music, I'm just like, it's okay. And also, like, I don't like the members as much as I do for like the G Idol members, so I was just like, okay, this is just like a short phase for me. So I wasn't gonna watch it initially, but then I was thinking about the podcast, and I was like, I should do a podcast on this, because I know for a fact that like everyone's gonna watch the first like maybe 1 or 2 episodes of it, and then they're not gonna look at it ever again, right? Or they're just gonna should I say, like, the haters are just gonna go about their day, right? They're just gonna look at a clip from TikTok and be like, oh my god, like, they're just farming for pity, like, why are they making a documentary and all that, blah blah blah. And like, I'll be honest, like, I was thinking those things too. I'm just like, why are they making a documentary after everything that's happened instead of just like coming back with the music, right? But I decided, okay, like, hey, let me not be the hater, I guess, and let me go watch it. Let me see what they're trying to do, like what they did behind the scenes and stuff like that. So I watched all 5 episodes. Each episode was like 30 minutes long, around that range. And here are like my first like initial reactions, right? I don't like the camera work. I don't like the music. I think it's very, very dramatized, and it kind of it kind of takes away from the actual process of how the girls feel and like what the team does, right? And I'll get into more than that, right? Okay, I should like backtrack a bit, right? So this documentary is coming off of like a really big hate train, right? We first had LESSERAFIM getting into a encore stage scandal, I guess, or controversy, where they were singing their encore stage after winning right, on the music show, and then their vocals were really bad, right? So really bad, I should say, in quotations. So they got a lot of hate for that, right? And then came Easy, the Easy era, and even more allegations were against them, not just for singing, but also because of the song was copyrighted apparently, and also in the music video there was use of religious like symbolism and stuff, and even like the music genre in general, like people weren't vibing with it because it wasn't something LE SSERAFIM usually made. It felt like something that was inspired by like the whole New Jeans beat bass and beat trend right now. Also, again, like in quotations, right? And then following that, they were invited to Coachella. I don't think I need to say anything about the Coachella, but Coachella happened. And even more, like, this was like the biggest hate train ever for them. Like, they got so much hate for it, for their vocals and their performance. I don't need to speak any more about that. I'm sure you guys seen TikToks about that. And then after Coachella, it was the whole Min Hee-jin causing fan wars between New Jeans and LE SSERAFIM, right? Because Min Hee-jin was saying, oh, like, LE SSERAFIM was supposed to be like was gonna be my group, but also like New Jeans is also my group, but New Jeans was gonna debut first, and then LE SSERAFIM took over what should have been New Jeans' debut, and then yada yada yada. So that caused like a whole drama thing as well. And then there was like a whole like source music, like just spewing BS pretty much to try to get fans of New Jeans and like haters to back off. But obviously you're just fueling the flames even more, and like that's what the haters kept doing, right? They just kept commenting on the members' comments and stuff like that, to the point where like they had to take down every single comment section of like the LE SSERAFIM content, right? Like even till this day, right? Like their Coachella happened 3 months ago, and they took down like their comments during that time, right? But yeah, 3 months later, I checked every single social media, and it's still, the comments are still down, and it's that bad, right? It's that bad. Usually, like you turn the comments off for like a few posts, like maybe like a month or like a few weeks, right? But this was bad. This was terrible. So them coming with a documentary after the fact, this is my opinion now. Like that is a risky play. Like I know you have a comeback coming. I know you want to try to like garner sympathy for the girls as much as you can before the comeback, so public reception is better. But I don't know about that. So let me talk about the documentary though, right? Because I know people watching this probably won't ever watch it, or don't plan on watching it because they don't care, right? Or they'll just go on what they see on TikTok, right? So the documentary has a lot of scenes of like showing them practicing, talking with their coach, talking with their mentor, sometimes in like the vocal practice with their vocal coach. It's also have a lot of scenes of them needing medical assistance, such as getting IV drips, puffers to help them breathe, because in one example there was like Eunchae had to leave off of stage because she was hyperventilating, right? Maybe it was like the stress, maybe it was like malnutrition or whatever it is, right? And they also have like staff like ready to support them whenever like I guess they feel bad. I worded that poorly, right? But it was another example where Sakura, they were at like the, what's it called? They were at the showcase for their Unforgiven era, and then Sakura was like monitoring herself like in the NV. And I guess like she just looked at herself and thought like people are really cheering and clapping because of this. Like I feel inferior, or I feel like I didn't do enough. So she started crying. She had to leave and get off stage because of that. And it was like it was a whole thing, right? It was just showing how much the LE SSERAFIM members had to like struggle to get where they are. And also like during promotions, like this is a regular occurrence pretty much that they're trying to push out. So that's that. Right. And I was mentioning earlier how like I felt the documentary was really like dramatized. Like I didn't like the camera work and the music, right? Like I mentioned. And, you know, a lot of the things that was shown in the documentary, like was really redundant and really like repetitive at times. I felt that the title, right? Make it look easy. Like, yeah, like you're showing me how much like suffering the girls have to go through, but like uh that's kind of part of their job for one. And also it's like on them, right? It's on the company for pushing out these intense like schedules, right? Because for idols, right, they have one comeback after the next. And I'm pretty sure like from Unforgiven era to now the Easy era, like I don't even know if that was like 6 months apart. Maybe it was more, but either way, like between comebacks, like you have your comeback, right? You promote the comeback for maybe like a month or so. And during this time, like the members have to, they have to keep practicing. They have to make appearances on like variety shows. They have to travel overseas if they need to for more performances. And especially for a group like LESSERAFIM, who has a lot of fans, they have to go overseas and like attend events and stuff like that. So that's a part of their promotion as well, right? And that could go on for like 2 months now, right? That the first month is like just promotions in Korea, and then the second month is like overseas performances, right? And then even during that time, the members have to commit to their own responsibilities, right? Because everyone has their own lives, I'm sure, right? Aside from like their career, they have a life outside they have to take care of. And also they have to prepare for the next comeback too. So that's photo shoots, that's CFs, that's doing advertisements and all that stuff, right? So it's really not a lot of time. And all these K-pop groups usually are expected to come out like at least twice a year. That's crazy, right? So 6 months in between each comeback. Oh my god, no. Like that's not normal. Like you can't push your body so hard to like do that, right? So it's great that we got to see that part of it, but also like it would have been nice to see like what the girls had to say in that, or maybe they don't have a say, right? Like we don't usually get to see LESSERAFIM's recording behinds, right? Like a lot of groups now, they showcase their recording of the songs behind the scenes, but I don't think we got to see that in the documentary. We only get to see like the snippets of like very dramatic scenes pretty much, and also the cuts of them doing like the very like super serious like documentary interview style, like like yeah, it was really hard, and like if I didn't have my members, I would like, I don't know what I would do kind of thing. It's like I get it, but also I think some of those moments should have been kept. Like you don't need to show that to the public, right? The girls have each other, like we as fans like know that, right? But you don't, if you say that in the documentary, it's just like it feels like it was pushing some kind of narrative. And I think at some point, like for me, like I was just I was just skipping through it, I was just like looking through, trying to like get some like key moments and stuff like that. And while doing that, I would say I've only gotten like 2 key things out of like the entire 5 episodes, like 2 key things that the girls pointed out that actually like had weight to it. So first thing that I pointed out, and I screen recorded it and I'll like include it right now. So this is what Unchae said.
은채가 선생님이 조금 아쉬운 게 아무래도 뭔가 이 무대 경험의 문제인 건지 모르겠지만 조금 무대에서 잘 못 노는 것 같은 느낌이었어. 계속 리허설 하는 데는 오늘뿐만이 아니라 어려워 할 때. 어떤 거? 어색해? 왜 어색할까? 은채는 은채답게 노는 게 제일 좋아. 너다운 게 좋아.
So Unchae says, there are certain images that the public likes, so I fit along the lines without even realizing it. It's very concerning to me. And I'm sure this line like probably concerned like a lot of you guys too. If you're watching this for the first time, or if you already watched it, then you're probably thinking like, oh, I hope he pointed that out. And I'm pointing it out. She's only 17 years old and she already feels like really strongly about her identity. Usually at 16 years old, like personally for me, like when I was 16, 17, I was like worrying about a high school crush. But like for Unchae, like she didn't get to experience that, right? And a lot of these idols now, like who debut young, like they don't get to experience like just having a crush at high school, like they don't get to have that relatability with a lot of other teens in their age, right? Because they're working at the start of like, I don't know, 10, they're training at 10, they're training at 12. Like it it's really sad to see these idols feel like they have like no sense of self, like they have no identity besides, okay, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna train in the studio, I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna go on stage, perform, make fans happy. And then like after that, like who are they, off the stage? And I think Unche herself admitting this makes me worried for a lot of other idols, right? And it kind of sucks that the public scene is, still like this, where celebrities and idols alike, they have to force themselves to be a certain thing so that they can like like they have to like mold themselves into perfect images for the fans. Otherwise fans would just like click off. They don't care, right? Because they want something perfect, they want something that they can mold. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And then another thing that I pointed out, or that I found that was really interesting, and this clip actually got really popular on TikTok, that is also getting a lot of hate, is where Sakura was with her vocal trainer, and then she had to sing, and the mentor pointed out like, hey, like why did you lose confidence when you were singing? And then she laughed it off at first, but then she just bursted out crying. And while she was crying, she said to her vocal trainer like, hey, like I don't know what's going on with me, like I don't know what's wrong, I'm just scared to sing in front of people. And that's okay, me putting myself in the shoes of a fan, right? I'm gonna be like, no, like Sakura, like you're so good, like you're really good in singing, like you're working hard, and like you try your best all the time. And then like, I see why, she would be scared. Cause like it yeah. It kind of goes both ways, right? When your fans say like try to support you and say stuff like, oh, like you improved so much, like you're doing so much better than before, and like the haters are like kind of like being more direct, right? They're saying like, oh, you suck at singing, you've been an idol for like 10 plus years and you still can't sing, like this is your job, like what are you doing? It goes both ways, where they're both indirectly and directly saying like, hey, you kind of suck right now, and like I'm glad you're trying, but also it's like what you're trying and what like your effort is not enough, you have to put more effort in. And me as like a neutral I guess I'll try to be unbiased when I say this, right? Like yeah, like her singing often when she's on stage, like it's it's weird, like it's definitely off tune, off key at some points. And like I had to go through a lot of clips, right? For this episode, like I had to like look through all of her singing stuff. And interestingly enough, and I won't lie, her Coachella performance is actually the best I've seen Sakura sing. And like, yeah, it's like a lot of the LESSERAFIM hate from the Coachella came from like the other girls. Like Chaewon was okay for some parts, but some parts she was like out of tune when she was singing high notes. Yeonjun was like pretty much off tune, off key, like the entire performance almost. Like same with Kazuha and Unche, which is why they got a hate. But like, yeah. But Sakura like actually managed to like deliver her lines like with confidence, and because of that, like she was actually on more or less like on tune and like actually in key, and like it just was really fun to see how her passion and like her energy like shot up because of that performance. I get maybe it was like because she was performing in front of like a really hype crowd that she felt more confident to sing properly. but I was just like so proud of her after watching like so many clips of her not singing to the best of her ability. And then at the Coachella performance where like she got, supposedly it was like the worst performance for the girls, right? Like she was the one who like did the best in my opinion. So like I'm I want her to be like not scared to sing, but also this whole debacle is just gonna make her even more scared. So it's very unfortunate, yeah. Um so with that being said, like that was the documentary pretty much. Like out of that entire 5 episode documentary, I only outlined 2 key points. But I want to outline one more thing, and this is like not directly from the documentary. It's more like I want to highlight an issue that like not many people are like talking about, you know? Like everyone right now is just hating on LESSERAFIM and like it's just a hate train there. But I think we need to like pay attention more to like the industry as a whole, where, you know, I'm like those haters right now, like I'm sorry to say this, but you're one of the reasons why like LeSSERAFIM has a platform today. Like you might have not always been a hater at first. Like maybe you were a fan, right? But then you turned into a hater. Or maybe you just listened to their music, you bought a few of their albums, and then suddenly you flip the switch after their Coachella performances and seeing all the hate trains, then now you're hating on them, right? It's you're just feeding into this like loop for them. Like I think Hybe is clever in this sense where they're using this strat where all press is good press. And if that means trashing their idols in the process and letting them go through shit, is that like they're gonna be okay with it because it gets them views, it gets them attention, it gets people watching their music, listening to their music. And like as a business standpoint, like that's really good. You know, I'm sure Hybe and like Source Music was thinking at first, like, oh, like we're gonna send them to Coachella. They're gonna have this really cool beat. Like this comeback is so good for them, and they're just gonna like blow everyone's expectations on Coachella. When in reality, like the worst thing possibly could have happened. But guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna release a documentary and then try to farm for more pity, farm for more hates, farm for more reactions, and then come out with an album. Like, if that's not like marketing genius, I don't know what is, right? Because everyone has their eyes on LESSERAFIM right now, and like this comeback is gonna be like so like career make or break, right? I'm sure they know that, and I'm sure like everyone and the haters know that too, right? Which is why like they need all this attention on them right now. So even if like the song comes out like not as good as anyone expect, like at least a lot of people are going to be looking at it and streaming it and like potentially giving LESSERAFIM more chances in the future to redeem themselves, right? But also another thing, it's like K-pop obviously now it's so different from K-pop back then. If you look at some clips of like some second gen idols and third gen idols talking about how K-pop has changed right now, like you'd be surprised. Like I think I've seen some clips of Big Bang and 21, like the members from there, like they were talking about like, oh, do people know us now? Or like they were mentioning how like the idols changed so much now that they don't even know if like what they've created like is holds today pretty much, right? And I will say they are holding their place still today. But nowadays fans like they don't know that. Like they just look at these pretty idols on their phone and TikTok feeds now and just be like, wow, like they're so hot. Oh my god, I'm gonna stand them now. Oh my god, and I even see like another clip. I think it was like either Sugi or Irene or maybe it wasn't someone from Red Velvet, maybe somewhere else. or maybe it was someone from Girls' Generation. I'm not sure, but one of them said like, they don't like the TikTok challenge scene right now because it's pretty much where you like all idols now, right? All K-pop agencies like they're making TikTok songs favorable for TikTok, right? And because of that, like you can get idols to like do challenges together and stuff like that. But they said like this is even worse than it was before because before, like after music shows, like during music show performances, like in the downtime, like they get to like talk with other idols, you know, like relax a bit. But now instead, like they have to go to some fourth or fifth generation idol group, right? They have to go do their TikTok challenge, and then like for one, like you have to learn that the staff has to be there, right, monitoring, and I don't know about you, but like some dances are like really hard, right? So you're spending like at least like 20 or like 15, 10 minutes, depending how fast you are, like to learn a dance move. And then you film it, and then there goes your break time, right? And then you repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, because you know how many idols promote at the same time, right? Like every week there's like at least like maybe one or two, three big artists performing, and then there's like a lot of like the more like mid-sized companies promoting as well, like and the smaller companies, right? And soloists. So everyone's just like taking turns like talking to each other, getting to know each other, and also like filming TikTok challenges, which is like it's great for the fans, right? But for the idols, they're like, girl, can we just take a break, please? And that also goes into the fact like these songs are being catered to TikTok, right? It's just changing so much. And like now, I would say before when I started K-pop around like 2018, and I would say like most K-pop listeners were like at least like in their high school age, or like maybe in like at least the older middle school, right? But now like you got kids listening to K-pop, you got like kindergartens bopping to it, you got like pretty much people of all ages listening to K-pop, and not just all ages, but at a larger population as well. That like, and it's going in the West, right? So it's almost like a given for these K-pop agencies to finally realize like how like we're doing well in the West. Let's keep promoting in the West while still retaining like the K-pop identity to like market it, right? And it's working. It's working, unfortunately. So whatever. And now the K-pop industry is kind of fucked. Yes. Yeah, like I said, this will be a shorter episode, so I will be wrapping up now. I want to end this off by asking the audience, like, and also like answering this question, right? Like, so what does LESSERAFIM need to do to save their career? Okay, as I mentioned, their documentary has been up, right, for like maybe a week almost now. And earlier today, they dropped the crazy comeback teaser. Wow, isn't that lovely? So Crazy is gonna come out soon. Don't know how soon, but it's definitely coming soon since teasers are out. Personally, for me, I'm like highly anticipating this comeback because I didn't like Easy that much. I thought Smarter was just like, it was a fun twerking song, but that was about it. But a girl loves to twerk, slay. But I need like Crazy needs to be empowering for the members, and also, yeah, okay, sorry. For this song, like I want LESSERAFIM like written all over it. Like I want to see the girls have like an input on how this comeback plays out, because I think like after looking at all of them in the documentary, like they all look so exhausted, and also just they want to show new things, but they want to show new things by like being themselves. And I think that's what they're really lacking right now. But honestly, at the end of the day, like this is a make or break moment. And I could see like two things happening realistically, right? Which is one, the song is good, and then they get praised well, and then suddenly everyone forgets that the hate train exists, right? Because that's how the internet works. People just forget so easily. And then two, and this, I feel like two is a more likely outcome to come. Sorry. And I feel like number two would be a more highly occurring. Sorry. And I feel like my second prediction has a higher chance of occurring, which is the song turns out it's okay. Like, you know, people are listening to it. You either love it or hate it kind of thing. But then like the haters just use that to leverage like, oh, LESSERAFIM flop. Right? And then that's like a whole new kind of hate train. And we don't need that anymore. Like, if you're still hating on LESSERAFIM now, like, please, I hope you stop, because no one deserves that kind of hate. And unfortunately, it's happening to them. And obviously, like I said earlier in the podcast, like, I don't like talking about LESSERAFIM so much because I don't want to give them more attention than like that they already have. But you know, this topic, I want to use my platform to say like, it gotta stop. It gotta stop, because if you have something wrong with them, just don't listen to them. Like, oh my god, lower your pitchforks, please. Okay, bye. And like, don't aim for the girls. Okay, like the girls, yes, they deserve the criticism, but also they don't deserve to have them tell them to off themselves, right? Like that's just not right. Okay. So that will conclude the 5th episode of Delulu Hour. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, wherever you're on, like YouTube or Spotify. Let me know in the comments what you think of the whole situation. Do you think LESSERAFIM will recover from this? And like, are you excited to listen to the new music? Like, I know I'm excited. Kind of worried, not gonna lie. But, you know, they have a lot of fans supporting them right now. Kind of blindly, I'm not gonna lie. But I will see you guys next episode. Hopefully it'll come out earlier, because like I do have something planned. We will have a guest next episode, I promise, because they were supposed to come on today but they didn't want to, so that's why it's spelled. Yeah, well, okay, TLDR, I was supposed to have a guest for this episode, but then like timing and like scheduling conflicts occurred, so like this episode came out later. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, yep, but please forgive me. I hope this episode was like at least somewhat enjoyable for you guys. But yep, I'll see you guys next episode with the guest. Have fun. Bye bye. Good night.